Hi, this is Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here at NAB 2016, and my guest at the moment is Jesse Korosi from Bling Digital. And Jesse, why don't you tell us a little bit about your job and some of the things that you're here to see?
Okay, well, I am the director of workflow for Bling Digital, which is a part of the SIM group. So my focus is mainly on overseeing our lab on the technical side of things. So that is mainly dailies, VFX pulls, promo pulls, a little bit of conform and consolidation, but the big part of it is lab services for dailies. And we're part of the SIM group, which is comprised of a bunch of companies that we've came together, and we offer grip and lighting, camera, playback, on-set gear for video assist, and DIT and data management and dailies, and through to offline editorial rentals. We do offline editing now, and sound editing and mixing, and online and color. So we do quite a bit of stuff, and what's been exciting over the past little while is integrating all of those services and re-evaluating how we can take what we do and make it better by bringing in a cohesive team from all of these companies. So I'm excited to be here, and with all of the companies and vendors that have came out with brand new products that are going to really streamline what we do and be able to enhance our service. I'm really excited.
So, do you have a wish list that you hope to get to over the next day and a half?
Yeah, so I'm only here today and tomorrow, so it'll be really quick. I have meetings pretty much back to back, but
But specifically, like the
which
needs that
one,
you
which
get,
vendors I want
well,
to see?
or at least what sort of solutions do you need? That,
Well, right now we've started taking more Area 65 work, and with the data sizes that we're looking at for that, it's a really painful process with the amount of gear that we have to have, and between the gear on set and in our lab to be able to process and transfer that material, it's really heavy at 2.8 terabytes for every hour that gets recorded. So one of the jobs that we're on right now, we have to have 5 doubler stations just to keep up with LTOs. It's crazy. So Codexis came out with some big updates on their vault for processing time that I want to go talk to them and see what's going to happen there. And they say that it could be cutting off 50% of the time that it took us before. So that's a big deal,
that is a very big deal, yeah.
especially when we're talking about needing to turn cards over back for the camera crew next morning. Being able to get through 10 terabytes, 14 terabytes a day is a challenge. So that's one person or one company I really want to see. And there's a bunch of other live grading applications that have made some big changes, um, and LUT boxes, and a lot of the on-set gear for live grading there's a few companies that have came out with new products for that.
So, well, what companies are they?
Well, Filmlight, that makes Baselight and makes daylight for dailies, now came out with a product called Prelight, and we'll see what happens. I mean, live grade right now is pretty much the de facto. Anytime we work on, I would say 95% of the jobs we do, whether it's TV or movies or commercials, if someone wants to live grade right now, it's through live grade. And with this coming out, I'd be curious because it's going to have the BLG end of things to then transfer into daylight and then transfer into baselight, and now they've got the plugin for Nuke. So they've really got a lot of those steps covered, and it's really just getting up to in that front end, because right now, when we want to run a baselight workflow, we have to start with CDLs, which is kind of limiting. And I'm really excited about the idea of being able to have more color available on set in a live environment that actually translates, that doesn't just get lost the moment the lab is finished and it gets to editorial, and then all of a sudden that colors, the metadata is thrown away.
That's kind of scary in a way, though.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that are trying to do that are trying to build that end-to-end color pipeline, and Filmlight's really going about it in an interesting way, where they've got that BLG file, but they're really thinking about effects, like visual effects, and they're thinking about on-set live grading, and it's important because a lot of these companies that are creating these color flows are really thinking about it very directed at the product market that they're serving. So if you're resolve and you have and you color your final color correction and resolve, you can create great looks in there, but you can't really do that in the front end with multiple cameras and have that translate through the pipeline and then send that color onto a VFX department or a stereo department. So that I'm excited to see.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, because I know you have a lot to do, can you name some shows that you work on now or films?
I can name a few. Unfortunately, the bigger movies I can't because of NDAs, but um, we're working on Narcos, the new season of Narcos, and we have Rain and Suits and The 100 and a lot of TV. We have anywhere up to about 30 shows running at any given time, and that's all across the globe. We kind of go wherever the job needs us and set up remotely.
And you have multiple offices?
Yeah, we have an office in Atlanta, New York, Toronto, Vancouver, and LA, but we'll go wherever. As an example, Narcos is shooting in the jungle in Colombia, no problem, we'll go there. Or we have other jobs that wherever they shoot, we just go, and if we need to set up, the most common problem with that is internet. So it's more often than not going to a co-location if we need to send bigger files, and we set up a data center in whatever the city is. So that's always the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine a jungle would be very challenging to set something up.
Yeah, for sure. And then some of the places you go, the internet is just outrageous. We did a show in Dominion in South Africa, and the charges that they have for internet bandwidth are really crazy. And we did one of our jobs in China, and because of the great firewall, we couldn't actually send media digitally, so we actually had to hand carry that. So it's kind of a job-by-job basis that we have to really re-look at how we operate and bring a new service to the table. We don't really have here's a product with a name and it's a one-size-fits-all package that just does everything. We kind of try to approach it where, okay, what are the needs of your job? And okay, now let's try to build something dedicated specifically to that.
And adjust those workflows for that particular show or environment where you're shooting.
Exactly, and that could be, it's easy to say that for an operational level, but even for the technical level, we do that too. We had a job recently, I was talking earlier about the BLG thing, and Daylight was brand spanking new, and it was still beta, but the colorist really wanted the BLGs to translate into the base lights, so we're like, okay, let's talk about how we can make that work and customize and move to a new software. So we try to stay flexible and not get too married to one specific application, one specific software, and to stay nimble, no matter how big we get, and try to build a bunch of speedboats instead of a giant Titanic, so to speak.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time, especially since you're only here for a day and a half. So I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. This is Jesse from Bling Digital, and this is NAB 2016.